Hello, hello. How is it going, everyone? Hope all of you guys are doing so great English. I hope all of you guys are having an amazing day so far. This is episode 7 of the evening news recap. Yesterday would have been episode 7, but the video file decided to corrupt on me. So that's why there was no video yesterday. But today is Friday. We got a new video. It's lucky number 7. Hopefully it goes well. We'll see. You got a new angle this time. I'm trying to figure out a better way to set like my recording situation and such while I make these videos. I originally had it above my steering wheel, but that kind of made it like I just stared into the sun and got my vision all blurry. That kind of made it hard to like navigate how to turn or like how to start and end the video. So it was a bit of a problem. But we're going to try this angle. We're going to see how it works. And yeah, let's get started. Two sections today, just the Trump administration and other news. Not a lot of news to cover today. Friday and Saturday tend to slow down a bit before Sunday slows down completely. But, let's get started. For the Trump administration segment, we have Trump suggests sending American citizens to El Salvador prisons. Trump admin fires the entire Civil Rights Division of Homeland Security. And a judge cooked the Department of Justice over alleged gang members. Let's get started. Trump administration suggests sending American citizens to El Salvador prisons. In a Truth Social post this morning, Trump said, "I look forward to watching the sick terrorist thugs get 20-year jail sentences for what they are doing to Elon Musk and Tesla. Perhaps they could serve um, their prison sentences in El Salvador, which has become recently so famous because of its lovely conditions." Sorry, I just ate canes for dinner. It was fire. Trump does not have the legal power to send American citizens to foreign countries, but 3 Americans have so far been charged with domestic terrorism for their attacks on Tesla in an ongoing case. Pam Bondi said in a statement, about attacks on Tesla, "The days of committing crimes without consequence have ended. Let this be a warning. If you join the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the Department of Justice will put you behind bars." I got a lot to say about this one, so strap yourself in. So the attacks on Tesla aren't acts of domestic terrorism, but January 6th wasn't an attack on domestic terrorism. An attack on our nation's capital and the people who protect it and the people who serve to protect our nation's capital. That wasn't an act of terrorism. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of these protests against these Tesla buildings are, you know, attacks on a billionaire's ugly cars. I mean, if January 6th wasn't an act of terrorism, how is this an act of terrorism, Mr. Trump? I thought MAGA hated electric cars. I thought you guys weren't a big fan of those cars. Maybe I'm just mistaken, but I remember you guys complaining when Gavin Newsom passed a bill to ban ban the sale of gas cars in California, and he encouraged other states to do it as well. I mean, weren't you guys upset about that? But that's not the point of this. Let's back up a little bit. Trump has essentially announced that he wants to deport American citizens, which is a huge problem and shouldn't be an issue. But I want to return to a quote that has been read since the very start of this situation. It's a quote by Martin Niemöller. It's called "First They Came For." "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. History's writing might not be the same." Oh, this isn't the quote, by the way. This is like a separate statement. "But the book always rhymes, and there is proof in the pudding that this is very similar to how not only Jewish people, but many people were prosecuted by the Nazi regime in the 1940s in Germany, and we're seeing it here today. Um, I mean, the proof is there. If you don't agree, you're a lost cause. I hate to break it to you. Today, the Trump administration fired the entire Civil Rights Division of Homeland Security. The Trump administration has fired nearly the entire civil rights branch of the Department of Homeland Security. More than 100 staff members were told they were going to be put on administrative leave for 60 days to find a new job in the administration or be fired. Trump also closed the Ombudsman. I don't know how to say that word. Sorry. For civil citizenship and immigration services, another office that has scrutinized the Trump administration. These are some of the latest moves to root out DEI in the federal government. This is some horrible news to hear, as the civil rights has essentially been thrown out of the window by this entire administration. It's important that we continue to stick to our values and remember what's right and what's wrong and how people deserve to be treated, because it's clear that the Trump administration don't want to respect the normal things we've had set in our society for the past few years now. Today, a judge absolutely cooked the Department of Justice over these deportations of alleged gang members. For those who don't know, cooked is a Gen Z term for absolutely destroying or eating someone, I guess. You cook them like the fire. You ruin them. I don't know. I'm terrible at explaining those things. I just say the word. All right, let's get started. Today in a court hearing, Judge James Boasberg met with the Trump administration officials for the deportations of illegal immigrants. He said in the hearing, "I agree that the policy ratifications of this are incredibly troublesome and problematic and concerning. I agree that it's an unprecedented and expanded use of an act that has been used in the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. There is no question that there was a declaration of war and who the enemy was." He noted that the Trump administration's arguments in support of that were awfully frightening and a long way from the intent of the law. He vowed to hold the Trump administration accountable, saying, "The government not being terribly cooperative at this point, but I will get to the bottom of whether they violated my word and who ordered this and what is the consequence." Boasberg asked the Department of Justice to vow that the Trump admin would hold individual hearings before they deport anyone, and Deputy Assistant Attorney General Drew Ensign would decline to make a comment, saying, "No, Your Honor, I do not have the authorization to do that." Boasberg would conclude the hearing without a ruling. Boasberg and many other judges across the United States have started to stick up for not just the American people, but all rights of all Americans, and it's great to see. Congresswomen are making their stances. Bernie Sanders and AOC are currently going across the United States, making statements and, giving their voices heard, which is a big thing, and it's great to see. It's great to see our leaders actually start to get out there and do some work and do their job. Yeah. Moving on to the other news segment. For today, we have the National Weather Service suspends forecast balloon launches. A Republican congresswoman says we need to get the executive branch under control. Unfortunately, that's not what you think from that one. Musk offers $100 to Wisconsin petition signers. That's it. The National Weather Service has suspended forecast balloon launches. The National Weather Service is reducing weather balloon launches in the U.S., temporarily suspending them at 2 or more places due to staffing shortages, the agency announced yesterday. Weather balloons are normally launched twice per day and have provided accurate local forecasting. There have already been mass layoffs to the Weather Service, and not helping the agency's already terrible accuracy. This could have some pros and cons, but it makes the weather harder to predict, which can be a problem for figuring out if tornadoes or other possible scary events are happening, which could be a big problem. I think for the pros, it could reduce environmental waste. I'm not too sure how environmental or biodegradable these balloons are, but if you have balloons just falling out of the sky, that's got to be somewhat bad for the environment. Granted, a lot of the things the Trump administration doesn't really help the environment, but I mean, it's something maybe. I don't know. Moving on. A Republican congresswoman says we need to get the executive branch under control. Celeste Malloy, a Republican state representative from Utah, received applause yesterday at a town hall meeting in Salt Lake City when she told a crowd the country would shift into authoritarianism if we don't get the executive branch under control. But cheers would come to a boo when she said her worries aren't about President Trump, claiming she had the same worries when Biden was president, saying, when Biden was president, I had the same concern. Attendees waved signs and interrupted, asking for clarities on efforts to reshape the government and cut federal programs. Mallory would tell the crowd, "We are not going to get out of the situation without the situation we're in financially without all of us feeling some pain." Hate to break it to you guys, but the rich aren't going to feel pain. An extra $5 on eggs is just chump change to them, but for us, that's a lot of money. $5, it's a lot of money. They are pretending that they will feel pain and that they're just like us when essentially they're not. They don't have to worry about $5 extra on eggs. They don't have to worry about that kind of money. I mean, $5 is like a penny to them. I mean, they'll never understand the struggle of knowing where your next meal comes. They'll never understand the struggle of maybe not even being able to buy their own house. They'll never understand the struggle of living paycheck to paycheck. These are common issues that Donald Trump consistently has only made worse his entire presidency, and the rich doesn't know how to experience them or what these experiences are like, mostly because of the way they were raised. A lot of these people were raised in rich families, but I guess that's how it goes. Nepo babies, man. Ruining the economy. That's how it goes, Musk has offered $100 to Wisconsin petition signers. This angle isn't working well. We're going to have to figure something out for the next episode, I think. Musk's super PAC plans to pay Wisconsin voters $100 to sign a petition to express their opposition against, quote, activist judges. Both him and Trump have complained about judges blocking their goals and preventing them from destroying the government. The American PAC plans to use information from the petition signers to make sure they vote in Wisconsin's election on April 1st. Michael Mailsman, a Wisconsin election lawyer, said that offering money in exchange for signatures on a petition, even if it isn't directly tied to the vote, could be considered as improper indictment or an attempt to influence the election process. This is highly illegal, and it's a huge problem. As we all know, PACs and super PACs are some of the most corrupt issues within our government today, although not all of them are corrupt. This is something that shouldn't be happening. Government corruption is a huge problem, and realistically shouldn't exist. It's unfortunate that it does. I mean, Elon Musk is just paying voters off to get what he wants, which is crazy. This should be something that will get him put in jail, but I mean, it won't. Um, I don't know. We're rough few days, rough few months, and it'll be a rough few years. With that being said, thank you everyone for. That's my retainer. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope all of you guys have had a wonderful day so far. My day was alright. Sorry for not having a video out yesterday. Like I said, the file corrupted. I don't really have much to talk about. I did my nails the other day. I redid them. They're purple and sparkly. I do my nails all the time. But yeah, um, hope all of you guys are doing well. Drop a comment on your opinions down below. Yeah, we're gonna end it here. Later, guys.